All right, so what's going on, guys? I have here John. This is episode number 8 of my podcast, Work in Progress. So John Kim uh, is here live with us, and we're gonna talk about the immigrant mentality. So John, yeah, so you were telling Instagram actually last night that immigrants see opportunities, a lot of opportunities that in the U.S., right? So I'm going to assume that you're an immigrant yourself and you've seen your family go through it. So just tell us a little bit more about yourself, man.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, so my parents and I moved to this country when I was 4 years old back in 1996 from Korea.
Wow.
And yeah, we basically had to start over, we had to learn a brand new language. I didn't speak a single word of English, and it was just a brand new life. It was a culture shock.
Uh-huh.
But it was a good one. Like you're saying, it was a new, completely new way of life, and especially immigrants that we see you and I see these opportunities that because we have another perspective in a different type of life. So we see these opportunities more prevalent than other people would, I feel like.
Yeah, you're totally right, man. So I don't know if you've been able to go back to Korea after you left, but I'm from Peru and I moved to LA
Right.
12 years ago from South America. And I do have the chance to go visit every now and then. And even though I have family over there who are doing, I would say in quotes, pretty well,
Uh-huh.
I just started thinking like if they were here in the US, they would be doing a lot better, right?
Right.
So that goes to tell you that there's so many opportunities about this. And I was talking about this with my girlfriend last night,
Hmm.
right? Um, about opportunities that a lot of people don't see.
Right.
Like you can be in a horrible situation in the US, but if you think that's bad, you should go to a third world country and see
Yeah.
how worse they have it. They can be working hard every single day, and they just gonna be scraping pennies and being they're gonna be able to only make money for the day. So with this whole pandemic, if you've probably seen the news, which I don't watch, but sometimes it comes across,
Uh-huh.
people they gotta get out and work. Now other countries don't have the luxury of relying on unemployment, right? Like
Right.
we do, like some people do here, and just sitting at home and getting a paycheck, which I'm not bashing on that, but other countries don't have the opportunity of that, don't have that. So if they
Uh-huh.
don't get out and work, they don't make money, they don't eat, and that's fucked up.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Right? Yeah. You know from the differences. So you moved here in 2008,
2007,
2007. Okay. So right before
so
the real estate crash. So you
right before
witnessed it.
that, I did. I wasn't really involved because, no, you mentioned this, right? When you get here, you gotta learn a new language. You
Yeah.
gotta get adjusted to a new culture. So during the first maybe 4 3 4 years, that was me. I was being forced to learn a new language and get myself immersed into a culture that I wasn't paying attention to anything else.
Right.
So now I was going to school, I was working. Bro, I had so many jobs.
Dang, man. I mean, how old were you when you first moved here?
So, no, I mean, I was 20, so it was 2 days before 2021. So I already told you how old
Oh,
I am. I'm 34 right now.
okay.
So it was, I had to arrive to the US 2 days before turning 21 because once I turned 21, I'm technically an adult. So whatever papers we had, no, I had to do them all over again.
Dang.
So
Yeah,
that's the story.
that's a process too. All the
Yeah,
paperwork.
yeah, all the paperwork. So
Yeah.
no, we moved. My parents and my sister moved here. Been here ever since, and had a lot of random jobs myself. And luckily, I was never on the streets. But I always saw that an opportunity, right? Like, okay, I
Yeah.
started working. My first job was Marshalls, and then
Nice.
I wasn't getting paid enough. I wasn't getting all the hours that I needed. I saw something else. I moved on. And then after that, maybe 6 months later, after the other job, I saw something else. I moved on. And, I know people who've been in the same jobs for like 10, 20, 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always looking for something different, whether it's because I need more money. But to be honest, man, I get bored.
You get bored. Yeah. No, I hear
I
you.
get
I'm the same
bored.
way. Yeah.
I had one job working at Verizon selling cell phones. I was making maybe 3 or 4 times more than what I was used to working at a restaurant. But
Uh-huh.
I came to a point in which I was bored. I'm like, what else is there for me to do here? Yeah, I can keep making the same amount of money, so I quit. I moved on to a different job, which it wasn't as promising as it told me.
Yeah.
But that kind of, I guess, got me out of my comfort zone because I was very comfortable at this job. I was working there for about 3, 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
making good money, I would say, compared to what I was making before. So I was okay, right? But I got bored. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I have money saved. All my day was paid for. I'm just bored here, man. Like, what am I going
Yeah.
to do? I look for something else. And I left that job.
Okay.
Somehow, a year and a half later, ended up in real estate. Um, and it's been maybe a year and a half since I started real estate. Being a bumpy road, I can tell you that,
Right.
but everything's been good. Can't complain. A lot of work. It's simple but not easy, right? You know that.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's not paying off for you now.
Oh yeah, of course,
Yeah.
and nowhere close to where I want to be, but um,
But
that's
you're way
why the title.
further. But you're way
Yeah,
further
that's
than where you were.
exactly, and that's why the title of my podcast, Work in Progress.
Work in
If you think
progress.
about it, there's always someone, not someone, but let's say every single one of us, hopefully, hopefully, are looking for something better, whether it be finances,
Mm-hmm.
relationships, or all those too. We want or better health. So no, we always, let's just say from my example, right? Like I do want make more money. I want to get in better shape, so I'm working out every day.
Uh-huh.
Um, I guess I try to feed my mind, so I try to read every day as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, man. So how about you? I know you. No, you used to live here in LA. Now
I
you're in,
did.
in Seattle. So do you mind sharing your story with us?
Yeah, it's a completely different lifestyle when I was in LA. I lived in LA for 4, almost 5 years, and
Wow.
California in general. But I actually grew up in LA, or not LA, California, the Bay Area. That's where my family and I first moved to
Oh,
from
nice.
from
Okay.
Korea. Yeah, yeah. But jumping back to LA, I was in the music industry there, and trying to get my foot in the door there, and build a foundation there, because that's what I thought I wanted to do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it realized I went through some stuff in summer of 2017, and by chance I happened to find real estate. Just like you did. I was searching for something new, something I could build a long-term plan in,
Mm-hmm.
build something big in, just have a big vision, and that's how I found it, man. And as you said, it's a work in progress, just like your podcast. And
It is.
it's been a bumpy road. I'm also in the same boat as you. I'm nowhere near as close as where I want to be, but I'm a lot further than what I would have imagined. Like go back to yours. I'm sure when you got your first job at Marshalls, would you have ever thought that you'd be in real estate in LA?
Never. Funny thing, my family had mentioned that there was a guy that they knew that was doing real estate.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay, well, he's selling houses. Okay, I mean, I didn't know how much money they made. I didn't know what they did. So in my head, I'm like, oh, probably they're just bored or boring and they don't make much money.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I never crossed my mind looking for like details, right? Doing my own research because I was so focused in this mentality that okay, well, I don't know if it's happened to you, but parents want you to go to college
Oh yeah.
because if you don't go to college, you're not gonna get a good job.
Yep. Absolutely.
And up to this point, they still say that. Um, so I went to college,
Uh-huh.
I graduated, I think never used my degree because I got a sales job right after because I had to pay
Uh-huh.
bills.
Right.
It's including student loans. I'm not gonna say I fell in love with sales, but I guess I liked the income and whatever else I had to do to become better, I'll do
Mhm.
it because I see like, okay, well, I see the potential right here
Yeah.
and I'm right here. I'm making okay money. So, I mean, all I have to do is just improve. That's it. So I'm like, oh, shoot. Okay. So yeah, I graduated college, never used a degree.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I spent like a couple, maybe like 30,000 or more in college.
Yeah. I hear you. It's funny how that works out, huh? I know.
Yeah.
I was in college too, but I ended up dropping out before I finished because I knew it wasn't the way for me. So I went a different route. But I
Yeah.
hear
I
you,
mean,
man.
if I knew I would have dropped. My mentality is nowhere where it was before.
Hmm.
I guess I'm a little more open-minded. Before I was just like college, college, college. I went to school for film and television. I don't know if I told you that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Um,
Okay.
so most of my friends graduated. They're working in the industry now, at least from what I know,
Uh-huh.
right? It was hard for me because I had to work my way through college to pay a lot of things, including a car payment because I bought a new car when I was in college. I'm like,
Okay.
no, I want to be cool. So I moved out, was living with some roommates. So I had to pay for all that. So I didn't have the time to do internships, to talk to people, to meet anyone. So once I graduated, he told me, yeah, you can go look for jobs, but you're probably gonna have to start with an unpaid internship. I'm like, fuck that.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
how am I gonna pay my bills?
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, exactly.
I
How are you gonna pay
can't.
your bills?
Yeah, so I kept working at a restaurant where I was working,
Hmm.
and then, I applied to this sales job that I told you about. I got in, was there for 3, 4 years, left. After that, I was unemployed, got my real estate license. Here I am,
And here you are, Team BC.
Team BC. Yeah, if
Funny how things work out, huh?
yeah, if you can see the frame right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. With Team BC, yeah, that's another story. I've talked to Brian. I followed Brian for a bit. I don't know even how we started talking. I think because I joined EXP under him.
Hmm.
We spoke once, and then one day he reaches out like, "Hey, you want to come talk to us here in the office?" I'm like, "Ah, sure." I mean, I have been in the office before because the office where I was working is not too far from here.
Okay.
So I came a couple times to visit and say hi. And yeah, it just happened like that, bro. So
Nice. That's cool. I didn't know the story behind that. I was always curious. I was like, I wonder how you got associated because I remember when you were saying, "Oh man, I'm thinking about switching brokerages." You know, we were on the Zoom because the cold call Zoom
oh
when
yeah,
you were talking to us about that. I remember that conversation.
so
We witnessed it.
I mean, I don't know if BC is watching this, but he knows. Like, I know I joined EXP. I was about to switch brokers. Well, actually, I did switch brokers when I talked to BC. That was like I switched brokers like the day before, and
Yeah.
then when I came to meet him. He like, "Hey man, I just switched brokers, but I want to be in your team, so let me switch back."
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that's what happened.
So I called the company. I reached out to EXP, and pretty much it told me like because it takes a little time to switch brokers,
Yeah.
they kind of had to cancel the transaction, so I didn't really leave. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm in. So
Hey, it all worked
yeah,
out.
that's the story. It all worked out. Yeah. So right now, here in the office, as you can tell, probably know that frame in the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, bro. So let me ask you this: Have you had the
Yes,
chance
sir.
to go back to Korea after you left?
We did. Me and my parents have only gone back like probably a few times, 3 or 4 times since we moved out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because of growing up, yeah, you have school. The only free time is summer vacation, and it's pretty expensive to go out there
Yeah.
during the free time during the on season because that's the only time we had. It's like 2 grand per person for a round trip ticket. So
Wow.
yeah, but that's sort of the on season, and that's the only time you could go because of school. You know, that's when everyone else
Yeah.
goes. So that's when the most expensive plane tickets are. But it's how it works out. But I'm working on changing that through the real estate business, gets
Yeah.
creates some more opportunities to visit relatives out there. But what about you? Do you have a lot of chances to go back and visit Peru?
Um, Went back 2 years ago because I wanted my girlfriend to meet my family. I have some uncles and cousins over there.
Okay.
I know we were there for about 2, 3 weeks, try some new spots that I haven't
Yeah.
been to in a while. Um, and we came back. Now, I really want to go back, but with this whole COVID, in other countries, it's a lot different than here. Right now in the US, it's kind of per state kind of thing,
Right. Yeah.
right? Like here in
Yeah.
California, everything's closed right now when it comes to like restaurants and any place you want to go eat or have a drink. Uh, I was in Florida not too long ago. Everything's open over there.
Uh-huh. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. We were
Florida.
there with the TBC meeting, but
Right.
Florida was open. So in other countries, you still gotta wear a mask. Everything is closed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to be traveling to a place in which I can't really do what I meant to be doing. Might as well just stay here and keep working until
Yeah.
things get better.
Until things get better, yeah.
So yeah,
And then
bro.
and then
That's
you go visit.
yeah. Then go visit again. I really like traveling. So far, been to maybe 5, 6 countries, and mainly the Caribbean
Mm-hmm.
because I really like the ocean and the warm water.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm planning on a trip actually. We are planning on a trip to probably Costa Rica, Colombia,
Hey, man, there
and
you go. Nice.
going back to what I was telling you about the opportunities, man. Like every time I go to those places, there's always tourism everywhere, right?
Right.
But I go ask the local people, like, hey, where'd you guys go hang out?
Dude, that's the
Like,
best way,
where?
right?
Yeah,
You gotta ask the locals where they party at,
yeah,
where they
yeah. Where
eat.
they eat. I had a story. We went to Puerto Rico, and I don't know if she's watching this, but if she is, we rented a little car, and we drove almost an hour to go try some pork, like
Okay.
some roasted pork, and it was in the middle of nowhere. Like it was kind of sketchy,
Okay. Yeah.
but we kept driving and driving, and we got to the place because a local told us that's the best place to eat that. So once we got there, it was packed. There's a lot of people. Um, that was in Puerto Rico. Same thing. Everyone being to the Dominican Republic, Belize. Uh, where else did we go? Oh shoot, I think that's it. Oh, Mexico. We went to Mexico a few times.
Mexico. Okay.
Yeah, I've been to Mexico a few times. Peru. Now we really want to leave. I don't know if you, but I love traveling. So I definitely in the mindset that I want to make money.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been in the position where I used to work before. When I told you I was working all the holidays, all everything, like every single day,
Yeah.
that I didn't have time to enjoy, I would say, my money. Not that I had a lot of money, but I was never able to like go anywhere because I was always working. So like right now, I set my
Mm-hmm.
schedule that I'm gonna work these days, and then I'm gonna have a couple days off during the week so I can enjoy my life. But the days I'm working like all day.
Yeah. You're hustling.
Okay. And the other 2 days, yeah, I'm just hanging out, doing whatever I want to do, traveling, planning my trips. Um, so yeah, man. So going back, I
Nice.
think I got a little distracted, but going back to the seeing the opportunities, I go to this place. I ask the locals, like, hey, what is it like here? And I guess I have an advantage because all the countries that I've been to so far, they're Spanish-speaking countries,
Mm-hmm.
like anywhere in South America,
Yeah.
Central America, and the Caribbean. Only Belize was the only one that didn't speak Spanish, but they speak English, so I was okay.
Okay.
They always ask the locals like, "Hey, what you guys do? Like, what's for fun?" I even follow them, like, see what they're up to. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Ask the Uber drivers.
Yep. Dude, that's the best way. The Uber drivers and the Lyft drivers have the best recommendations,
Oh
right?
yeah, man.
Right?
The Uber drivers know everything. They tell you where the
Oh,
spots are. Like, oh, today's Friday. If you want to go to a club, like you go right
yeah.
here. But
Yeah.
tomorrow, that place is closed. Okay, so you go right here. And like that's the best. that's the best part, man. Like
Yeah,
they'll
like
tell
that.
you the
Yeah,
restaurants and everything.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that spot in Miami we went to. That was from an Uber driver, right? Recommendation.
I think so. I don't remember that part. I think so. Yeah, there's always the locals know everything. That's my
Yeah,
point. And but besides that, I always ask, hey, what is it? How is it living here? Like, try to get more details. Sometimes they even tell me how much they make or how
right.
long they have to work.
Yeah,
And yeah, they no, it's kind of I compare it to living here in the US. I'm like, whoa, that's
it's way different.
it's way different.
Right.
They're used to it. For them, it's normal, but not for me.
Yeah.
Well, mind you,
For an outsider, yeah.
yeah, because
It's
mind you,
very
I
new.
came from Peru. I was 20. I had like a couple jobs, part-time jobs, so it wasn't like a big deal. I didn't
Uh-huh.
really actually start working until I got here, so I never had the experience of working in another country and making real money.
Okay.
So now my plan is to go to Asia or Europe and see how different it is over there.
Hey, I feel you, man. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I love traveling too. I just haven't had the finances to do a lot of traveling yet, so I'm building that up just like you are.
Of course, man. Yeah,
You know?
we all doing that. So yeah, man. So you said you moved from Korea, 4 years
Yep.
old. I mean, it's been a long time for you. So
Yeah.
do you get to talk to maybe family over there and ask how's everything going? Because I do. I mean, sometimes I talk to my uncle in
Mm-hmm.
Peru, and yeah, they tell me like they struggle a little bit.
Okay.
But I don't know if you get to talk to maybe friends or family over there and see the situation in Korea at all.
Yeah. Yeah, my my parents are more in touch with my relatives over there because
Okay.
my parents and myself and my siblings were the only family members outside of Korea. But
Oh wow.
yeah, yeah, but Korea's a very, very developed country now. South Korea specifically,
Oh yeah, I've
it's a
seen that.
very
Huh?
yeah, they really came up the last 30 years. In the 80s, it was basically a third world country in the 70s and 80s. And now things are good there, It's like you don't have as much freedom obviously as the US, but life is not bad there, like struggling there is like a similar level to here because of how developed the country is, but it's really busy over there, man. Like we were saying, it's so different there. The upbringing, they really put a big emphasis on school, on education there, like college and stuff like that. So they're very strict on it.
Talking about that.
More
Go
the
ahead.
employee mindset.
So talking about college, I know you dropped out of college, but
Yeah.
what's your perspective? If someone who's watching this, maybe they're thinking about going to college or they're in the fence, because I'm sure, like, no, 2020, we're in 2020, right?
Yeah.
I started going to college in 2010, so a lot of people have more information now. You got YouTube, all the social media, and there's a lot of people, saying that, okay, yeah, you don't need to go to college to be, uh, like, I guess, wealthy or do
Right.
good for yourself, which is true,
Hmm.
right? I just wanted to know if you have any input on that.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. My belief is if you're getting into a field that requires a degree, like, being a lawyer, a doctor,
Hmm.
engineer, some kind, then yeah, absolutely college is necessary. But my belief is if you're just going there without a direction, I feel like that's a lot of wasted money right there. Like
Yeah.
maybe colleges for someone maybe colleges for someone because I'm speaking from experience too. When I first went to college, and I know most of the people my age, because in the U.S. most people graduate high school and they go right to college, right? So most people don't have a direct. They're so young. They were 18 or 19 when you graduate high school, and
Yeah.
and you go to college. You don't. Yeah. You haven't fully become an adult at that age yet, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that was even though I started going to college when I was a little older. I was
Yeah.
what, 21, 22, because now I had moved from another country. It's yeah, same thing, right? Like if I could, I guess I'd take it as an experience, a very expensive experience.
Yeah.
If I could go back, I would go ahead and take my money back and let's start doing real estate. But I guess you don't know what you don't know. Like I wasn't
Exactly.
aware of any of this. I didn't know I was going to be doing this. I didn't know I was going to end up doing sales. I grew up being I guess, a shy or introvert.
Hmm.
Um, but once I started seeing the communication will get you far in life, I
Yeah.
stopped.
Uh-huh.
I stopped caring. To be honest, I just don't care anymore. Definitely, my communication skills are nowhere close to where I want them to be, but
Hmm.
I see some small improvements all the time. So yeah, man, ended up in sales, which I never wanted to do that. Actually, back in the day, my mom used to do sales. So
Oh,
was my
okay.
dad
Uh-huh.
back in Peru. But I was like, yeah, that's a lot of work, man. Like, I don't want to be doing that. But here I am, man.
So you first
Saying
got into sales because your parents were in it?
no. I first got into sales because I was told by someone. Remember, I told you I used to work in a restaurant
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was told by someone there that, hey, my friend works selling cell phones at, I think it was AT&T, and they make this much money. Um,
Hmm.
I'm like, mind you, I was making about 20 to 25,000 a year.
Uh-huh.
And then when I heard like you can make up to 100, I'm like, whoa, I'll do whatever it takes, man.
Yeah, yours perked
So,
up like, oh yeah, okay.
oh shoot, okay, I'm out of here. So I applied a few times, I didn't get in. I got in once. Um, so remember I was making the 20s. I doubled my income in the first 8 months, and then triple, almost quadruple my income in the next 2 years. And I like that, but I got to a point where it was very repetitive,
Hmm.
and because it's a corporate environment, some I guess rules
Right. Hmm.
like they're stupid.
I hear
Some
you,
of the
man.
rules, some
Yeah.
of the rules were stupid. It was such a big company that unfortunately no one could do anything. Like, if you talk to a manager, yeah, they
Yeah.
were doing their job, but they tell you, hey, that's how it is. Like, there's nothing they could do because they know they can get in trouble too. I understand that, but it's just like I got in trouble so much because of those rules, and it just didn't make sense to me. Like, why would you pay me the same over someone who's doing nothing right here next to me,
Uh-huh.
right? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, no.
Or why would you? Who's schedule? Why is he off on the weekends when I want to be off on the weekends and I'm selling no more than this person right here?
Hmm.
Like, shouldn't it be based on performance?
Right.
Like, it's kind of like a reward, right?
Yeah.
Things like that didn't make sense. So I got in trouble so much.
I hear you. Yeah.
I got written up a couple times, but I didn't care.
Okay.
Like, to that point, I just like I'm like, okay, well, if you're gonna fire me, just let me know I quit before.
So you quit before they fired you, or before they
Uh,
had the
I, I
chance to fire.
I kind of like had to keep some things to myself. So I got to a point where I wasn't gonna get fired anymore. I just got bored and I left.
So it just started feeling like a grind to you, and you're like, I need to do something
Yeah, I
new,
mean,
something more fulfilling.
something new, something different. I started thinking at that point, like, okay, well, what are the next few years of my life are gonna look like?
Uh-huh.
Do I see myself working here? I'm like, hell no, I'm out. So I started
Yeah.
thinking about different options, talked to different people. I left,
Hmm.
and that's when I actually kind of got out of my comfort zone. Because remember I told you I was very comfortable in that job
Hmm.
because I was making good money, no, compared to what I was used to making.
Right.
So I went from making decent money for me to making nothing. Yeah, I will get desperate
Yeah.
sometimes, but I was okay with it. I'm like, something will come up. I'll figure something out. And yeah, man, I did.
And it's working out, man. That's crazy. That's awesome to hear. And jumping back, why did your parents want to move to the States in the first place 12 years ago?
So, growing up, I mean, we weren't like completely broke because I know a lot of people had the story like, no, they were completely broke and they moved to the US. I
Right.
mean, I guess in my eyes, I grew up okay. We weren't like wealthy, but
Hmm.
we had a nice house. We had food every day. I went to private school because I had like a scholarship actually, which I
Uh-huh.
didn't find out until later.
Oh, okay.
I had a scholarship, so I was okay, right? But once I graduated high school, I started seeing like, okay, well, all my friends are going to college now, and some of them go to private school, and it over there is pretty expensive. So you either go to private school
Mm-hmm.
eh, or you go to public school. For either one of those, you don't just apply like here in the US. You actually have to take a test.
Okay. You gotta take a test to
Okay,
get in.
you have to take a test to get in, and you know, I used to live in the capital in Lima, right? Back
Uh-huh.
in the 2000s, most people wanted to be there, right? Like what they wanted to be. Just think about the capital of Korea, right? Everyone
Mm-hmm.
comes from all over the country because
Yeah.
they think all the money's there, is the capital. Oh my God, right? So same thing. So we couldn't afford private school, so I started studying to go to public school. It was fucking hard, man. Like it was so hard. Um, I would say, I mean, I say I'm a pretty smart person, but it was just like you had to be like a nerd to be able to learn those books.
Okay.
And they will, let's say, if, I don't know, 5,000 people applied, they pick 500, you know?
That's crazy.
So
Bro,
you
that's
compete
not,
with,
that's crazy.
yeah, man. So at one point, I just gave up. I'm like, fuck this. I went to a trade school. I learned, um, I wanted to be a bartender. So I learned that. I started working in a restaurant, and that's when my mom said, hey, we're leaving. Like in 6 months, we're leaving. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I didn't want to leave, you know. I mean, I grew up there.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, I had been in LA about 3, 4 years before we moved. So
Oh, okay.
my aunt asked me, "Do you want to stay?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I think it could be like have no papers, like what the heck?" Like, but I was thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know like no what's gonna happen later. We weren't planning on that. Um, I could have stayed. I didn't. So I kind of knew like what it kind of looked like, LA, and it was cool because I was on vacation the first time. The second time when I moved, and once that we arrived to LA, I fucking hated it, man, for the first year because I didn't speak the language very well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't know anyone at all. So
Yeah.
after a year, I went back home to visit, and I saw that all my friends were busy doing their own thing, going to school, working. So nobody had time for me. That's when I kind of like that opened my eyes, and said like, "Oh fuck this! I'm not coming back here in a few years." Because now everyone's busy. What am I coming here for? I came to visit them,
Right.
and everyone, is doing their own thing. So I came back to LA, got a little more serious. I started learning English, going to college, got another job, and yep. So the rest is history, man.
Damn. Do you see yourself stay living in LA long term?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Like I said, I may get bored of LA
Uh-huh.
and may gonna go somewhere else. If I could do real estate online, I'll be traveling all over the world. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out a way.
Exactly. Yeah. There's always a way.
Just
That's what's up, man.
yeah, that's I really want travel. I'm sure at some point I may get tired of it, but the reason why I want to travel because I want to experience other places
Mm-hmm.
and what people do in other places, learning from them. Um, I'm willing to go to countries where they don't speak English or Spanish and try
Yeah.
to figure out how the hell to communicate.
Body language and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe go to China
Yeah.
or something like that. So yeah,
That'd be a
bro,
cool
that's
experiment.
it is. I'm sure. So I'll let you know how that goes. I may end up going to Korea at some point.
Yeah. Definitely, man. That's awesome. It's crazy how much we can learn from other cultures, huh? I
It
haven't
is.
traveled a lot, but I when I first moved to LA, I lived in a hostel for a few months, and
Okay.
in a hostel, there's like people from all over the world that come through,
Yep.
and you basically party and eat and drink. and party with all people from all different parts of the world. So I learned a lot about different cultures just by living in the hostel there and just staying in them. So that was
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, right there and then you start learning a lot about other people, and I guess in a way, like you start asking, right? Like, what is it like in your country? Like, mainly
It,
if you come from a third world country,
exactly.
uh, you really start appreciating. So that's why, maybe when I go to places, I don't like showing off anything because it may make other people feel bad.
Okay.
And I mean, that's just me, right? Like, if I have a stack of cash, I probably just hide it, I don't want to pull it out in front of everyone. Oh, let me give you a tip, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
not like that. So,
I hear you.
first of all, I mean, you put yourself in danger too because you don't know if there's any shady people around you.
Exactly.
So I'm pretty careful when I travel because of
That's
that.
good. Yeah, traveling, you got to be careful. So
Yeah, man.
what's the mindset of people in Peru like? Are people mostly like, is it similar? It sounds like it might be similar to most people in the US. Go to college, get a good job at a company, and then retire. Is that the mindset there too?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is the mindset, definitely employee mentality. Now,
Okay.
I got some people in my family who have their own business, uncles, cousins, that, they have different businesses and, they do their own thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some of them are doing better than others, but, I've seen both. I've seen both. Never had the chance to experience that employee situation in Peru because, like I said, I moved when I was 20,
Right.
didn't really have any serious jobs after that until I got here. So yeah, man, it's just some people do very well, to be honest, as employees, like very well. And
Okay.
I'm not here to bash on anyone. Like, if you're happy in what you're doing and you really like it and you're satisfied, and by all means, man, and you get to have the weekends off, why not? Right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
if you're lost and you don't know what to do, I'm not saying get into real estate, but start finding something that you may like. If money motivates you, do a Google search. Hey, what careers pay the most?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll find something, right? If you want to be a mechanic, if you want to be a pilot, you're gonna be I don't know, soccer player,
Uh-huh.
whatever the
Right.
case is. You want to be a bodybuilder like Rich.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. I got family telling me, what am I doing real estate? Um, and that's okay. I under, I don't
Okay.
even get mad. Um, yeah, sometimes I get how do I say this? I get a little not discouraged, but disappointed
Mm.
because I thought family is supposed to be there to support you, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't share a lot of my personal stuff with them because I don't want them to be talking either good or bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Family feels entitled to give you their opinion, even though you never asked for it. I don't know if
Right. Right.
that's ever happened to you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. I think it happens to almost everyone, especially with their parents or even family members. It happens to me all the time. Now less than before, because with me personally,
Hmm.
I've been standing up for myself more, and then standing up against my parents more, which is very different for them. So, uh, yeah, it definitely happens. But I think we just need to realize that they're coming from a place of thinking that they're making a good like giving you good advice out of a place of love. That's what I really think that your family members are trying to do for you, not trying to maybe not trying to talk you down on purpose, or they think they're doing the right thing in their minds, which may not be to you, right?
Yeah, so think because I'm sure that they're coming from a place in which the parents told them the same thing, and we
Exactly.
always heard that older people know best.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like in
Right.
real estate, oh, you've been in the business for 30 years, you must know a lot more, or you should have more experience than this other guy who's been in the business 2 years,
Yeah.
right? That's a misconception. It's not
It
always the
is.
case.
It's not always the
That's
case. Yeah.
So that's why, when family tells you that, like, it disappoints me, but I understand. I try to understand as much as I can where they're coming from.
Yeah,
So yeah,
100%.
bro,
Yeah,
hundred
exactly.
percent. Um, I don't even know how it's been a while now, but I guess we can end it here unless you want to say anything else.
Uh, no, nothing else. No, nothing else for me to say. I think we talked for a while too about a
Yeah,
lot of good stuff.
yeah. Just no. When I do a podcast, I like keeping it this way, more casual, and
Yeah,
having a structure, so that way people feel free to talk. And as I'm learning myself how to be more comfortable on camera, um, it's better for me. I just the conversation flows a lot better,
yeah,
and I'm
exactly.
not
Yeah,
stuck.
Without a script. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, man. So if you guys don't follow John, go ahead and do it. He's a real estate investor in Seattle. So you want to follow his journey. Other than that, see you guys next week at 6 p.m. again. All right. Peace out.